Welcome in, Brian Edwards, MajorWager.com. Happy Memorial Day to all. Thanks for all your service, veterans. Let's get into the NBA Finals as Toronto advances to its first Finals appearance in franchise history by winning 4 in a row over Milwaukee, closing the show in Game 6 Saturday night, rallying from a 15-point deficit with 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Kawhi Leonard, once again, sensational, 27 points, 17 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 2 rejections in the closeout game, Game 6. Plenty of help from role players as well, especially Wichita State product Fred VanVleet, who had failed to score in double figures in 14 consecutive games. But in the last 3 games, he's had 13, 14, and 21, and has been an incredible 14 of 17 from three-point land. That's 17 launches from downtown and 14 net splashes. You will not see a 3-game run like that very often. So he has been terrific, and the Raptors are in the finals. So Game 1, as we come to you on Memorial Day, mid-late afternoon, Monday, Game 1 is set for Thursday night. Kevin Durant and DeMarcus Cousins are out. Andre Iguodala is probable. And in Game 1 right now, we have it as a pick 'em at some spots. Toronto favored by 1 at other spots. Now, for the series price, Golden State's anywhere from minus 280 to minus 300. And Toronto is in the neighborhood of plus 240 on the comeback. Let's remember, Toronto has home court advantage, and we no longer have the 2-3-2 system in the NBA. They switched back to the 2-2-1-1-1, that as in Game 5 for the home team, Game 6, or I should have said Game 5 to the team with home court advantage. Game 6, in this instance, back to Golden State and Oracle if necessary. And then Game 7 up north of the border. Okay. If this line holds as an underdog this year, and obviously they're only plus 1, so this stat isn't that relevant. But if it holds, Golden State 11 underdog spots on the season, 6-5 against the spread. So what happened head to head with these teams? 131-128 overtime, home win for Toronto way back in November. However, Draymond and Steph did not play in that game. Kevin Durant had 51 points in the losing effort. They met again a couple weeks later, December 12th, out in Oakland at Oracle Arena. And there was no Kawhi Leonard, and it did not matter. Woodshed treatment from the Raptors, 113-93 win for Toronto, minus Kawhi. So Toronto swept the regular season series. What's that worth? I don't know. Maybe a little confidence for Toronto, beating them twice, but really no big shakes. All right. Game 1, adjusted lines at sportsbook.ag. If you want Golden State, you're super bullish on them, you can go with them minus 7.5 for a plus 200 return. If you're super bullish on the Raptors, you can go minus 7.5 in Game 1, and that will net you a plus 210 comeback return. There are odds for what game the series will end in. If you think it's going to be a sweep, and it could go either way on the sweep, at sportsbook.ag, the odds are plus 550 for the series to end in Game 4. Somebody taking broom treatment. Game 5, it's plus 300. Game 6, plus 180. Game 7, plus 280. So Game 6 is the favorite at the books. And I hope we get a 6-game series. That would be fantastic. So Van Vliet, 14 of 17 from three-point range. Toronto swept the season series. Let me get you to finals MVP odds. These are from the Westgate Superbook. These were sent out less than 24 hours ago. There may have been slight adjustments in them since. Steph Curry, the minus 150 chalk to be finals MVP. Then we've got Kawhi Leonard at 11-4 or plus 275, whichever you prefer, risk 100 to win 275. Then we've got Draymond at 10-1, Draymond Green, obviously 10-1, Kevin Durant 10-1, Klay Thompson 20-1, and that's where I think we've got some serious value. It is far from a stretch to think that Klay could be MVP in these finals, especially with KD. Maybe not even play until games 3 or 4. The rest of those odds, Pascal Siakam for Toronto, 40-1. Kyle Lowry at 100-1. Maybe a tad tempting, but come on. If Toronto wins this series, it's going to be Kawhi. You got to think. Marc Gasol, 100-1. Iguodala, 200-1. Van Vliet, 300-1. Serge Ibaka, who had a very nice Milwaukee series, especially in the latter stages, 300-1. The field, all others, 100-1. Just a little history lesson on finals MVP. Durant won the last two, and in their first title 4 years ago, it was Iguodala, who I believe had around 20, 25-1 odds, maybe even 30 going in to that series. Now, as far as KD and Cousins' health, let's remember that we've got a lot of space between games, okay? As I'm talking to you now on the 27th, Monday, game 1 is not until Thursday. Game 2 will not be till Sunday, June 2nd. You got to think the goal for Cousins and or Durant is game 3, which would be back at Oracle on June 5th. And then the only time we have just one day between games is between games 3 and 4, with game 4 coming Friday, June 7th. If necessary, game 5, Monday, June 10th. So, I mean, look, by game 5, we're talking like 2 weeks away. So you would think for sure KD would be ready by then. Game 6 on the 13th, a Thursday. Game 7, if necessary, on the 16th. Okay, I think we're did I give you this yet? Toronto at home, 40-11 straight up, 25-26 to the number. Golden State on the road, 33-16 straight up, 23-25 and 21 against the spread. All right, I'm Brian Edwards of MajorWager.com. We are closing in on the NBA Finals. We have our matchup, and the action starts on Thursday. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, over and out.